Hello there everybody and welcome back to a little video about Gwent. Well, when I say little, this is actually going to probably take quite a while to actually go through because, holy crap, the open beta preview show was last night on Twitch and the the developers, CD Projekt Red, have just basically turned Gwent upside down. The amount of changes that they've actually thrown into this one patch coming out of closed beta to open is enough to make it Gwent 2. It's insane, and I'm really excited with regards to what's happened, what we've been shown, what people have actually data mined. Well, when I say data mined, they've basically slowed down the stream to pixels just to catch little glimpses of cards, and all that information is actually presented right here. So I'm going to be reading the beta changes that were all taken and collated on Reddit. They're all on r/Gwent if you want to go over and have a look. I'll put a link in the description below. And yeah, we're just going to go through all the changes. Some of you guys might not have been able to, catch the stream. So I'm here and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about the stuff and how things are going to be interesting and good and bad things. I mean, honestly, there's not a lot of bad things. If I was to say how many bad things there were, there's probably about 5 that I'm not keen on. And there's about 400 things that I'm absolutely thrilled about. So, let's start. First of all, the bombshell. Faction abilities have now been removed. Now, that's insane. Basically, no longer do we have Skellige going up 1 health, or 1 strength, sorry, per turn. No longer do we have the annoying Scoia'tael faction ability where they can just inherently give themselves card advantage and make you go first. That's now gone. It's a massive, drastic change. But what they've actually done is some of those cards, for example, like Skellige. We'll use a Skellige for a Skellige faction ability, old faction ability, as an example. Basically, for those of you that don't know, Skellige, basically every round, all the cards in Skellige went up 1 strength. They've now got rid of that, and they've added a keyword. We'll go down into keywords later, but they've added a keyword called Veteran, and a few selected cards in the Skellige deck actually have Veteran, which is exactly the same as the faction ability, but it's not going to affect everyone. So basically what they've done is they've tried to get the faction abilities and attach it to cards, which is really good. Okay, next. Leader cards are now earned in tutorial quests. This is a good change. This is a very good change, actually, especially for people that are just starting out with Gwent. Let me just get comfy. I'm going to be here a while. Okay, so leader cards can now be any tutorial. Yeah, basically there's a new menu. A new option in the menu. The main menu called Challenges. And basically what this is sort of, for example, the Northern Realms tutorial quest. They're going to have 3 challenges. 1 is for Fall Test. No, I think Fall Test's actually free. 1 is for Henselt, and the other is for Radovid. And basically, there's like 3 separate challenges that you must do to actually unlock each leader. One thing that I noticed was, for example, like the Henselt section, it had like 3 individual challenges, and one was like Blue Stripes. The Blue Stripes Brigade and stuff like that. So what it's going to do is it's going to teach you like the specifics or like the archetypes, as it were, for each faction, which is really cool. And obviously I would assume that, let's take the Blue Stripes for an example, the Blue Stripes sort of archetype deck would benefit the most from having Radovid. So I think it's really cool. You're actually learning archetypes of a deck, and then at the end you're actually earning a leader card. So I now would assume that leader cards are no longer available through kegs. If it is, then that's kind of a crappy move. But you do get them free, which is really cool. They've actually said as well that the tutorials in total, all the challenges, will come to about 5 hours worth of gameplay, which is really good. They also mentioned that they want, when I say they, I'm on about CD Projekt Red, that they probably want to add about 3 extra leaders per faction by the end of the year, and every single new leader will have a set of individual challenges, which is really cool. Not only are we getting like a lot of single player content, but guys, they're actually increasing the challenger pool by a massive amount, and they're aiming to do that by the end of the year. That's pretty insane. It really is. Okay, so additional mulligans between rounds. This is really unique. All faction abilities have now been removed. Basically, Nilfgaard's, which I always said was like just the best one. I loved, well, technically it wasn't the most OP, but I always thought it was the most friendly, was the Nilfgaard passive, where you actually got to mulligan an extra in round 2 and 3. They've actually given it to every single leader now, every single faction, which is really, really nice. So, for example, if you draw your cards in round 2 and you're not that keen on them, you actually do get an additional mulligan just to get rid of an extra card, which could be like, for example, Roach. You get a Roach, and you're like, oh, crap. You can actually mulligan Roach away, which is really, really nice. Every card has a premium version. This is insane. Absolutely insane. Trust me, if you actually saw the premium cards for the premium versions for all the cards, it's nuts. The sheer amount of awe that these decks and cards now have is insane. I really, really want a full Skellige deck, all premium, so you can see every individual card moving. I think it'd be so cool. But yeah, they've done an amazing work. They've done some amazing work of the animators and the designers over at CD Projekt Red, and every card having a premium version is absolutely nuts. The sheer amount of man hours that must have taken is crazy. They're all animated. It's crazy. We've added keywords, so new keywords have been added. We'll go down into that. You can now lock ambush cards, which is really, really good. You can lock them. They'll flip up. They will keep their strength, but they'll lose any form of ability. So, for example, Torviel. Torviel will, if she's been buffed, when she flips, she'll retain that strength, but she will no longer buff the adjacent units at the side of her because she will lose the abilities because she's technically locked. That's really good. Ambush has kind of been, I'd say, dealt with in this patch, which is sweet. I really hate ambush as a mechanic. Because if you've been watching me and watching my videos, and obviously if you see that I actually play against some Scoia'tael decks, I hate ambush. I really, really, really dislike ambush. Anyway, by the by, now it seems to have been tamed. Okay, let's have a look. You can toggle simplified and detailed text descriptions. Okay, that's really cool. If you hover over a card, you can actually see the description of all the keywords over the card on the actual UI itself. You don't have to right-click and get the big version of the actual card out. It does tell you what everything does. So, for example, Brave. Brave is one that they've added, and I think it's if you're losing. In fact, it'll probably be down here. If you're losing, basically, an extra benefit will be given to your card, and it'll tell you basically what Brave does if you hover over it. It's really, really nice. You can mute opponents' emotes. Brilliant. You can do it from the menu. You can just automatically mute people, which is going to be brilliant. It's so annoying when you're getting beaten and someone's like spamming bloody cheeky ass emotes, especially because all the emotes are really sarcastic as Geralt. But what are you going to do? Leaders, this is another massive change. Leaders now spawn themselves on the board, and they actually have strength. They actually do have strength, which is crazy. They act like gold cards. It's pretty nuts. So they also have an ability on there, and they act as like a secondary gold card, which is really, really strong. Gold cards are always unaffected by abilities. So basically that means that if you were to look at cards, there's no longer the specifics of in brackets non-gold cards or blah blah blah, because we just know now that gold cards are never going to be affected by abilities. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. New currency, meteorite powder. This is some currency that they've added into the game that you can actually purchase, or you can earn through rank rewards or season rewards, that allow you basically to upgrade your cards to premium instead of buying them outright, costing a lot of scrap. New avatars with voice lines including Yen, Triss, Imlerith, Eorvith, Witcher 1 Geralt, and Ciri. All are really, really nice, apart from Witcher 1 Geralt. I think that's really, really strange to put it in. It's very, very nice, and actually, if you have been part of the closed beta, which I have, then you actually get the Witcher 1 version of Geralt. It basically looks younger. That's it. But I suppose it's very, very nice of CD Projekt Red to actually give us that. Anyway, okay, so let's look at keywords. So, deploy. If this unit enters the board, do the following. Pretty simple. Orders. If the leader is activated, do the following. Effort. if the ability is activating, do the following. Brave, if losing, do the following. Weaken, base damage to units. So weaken is really, really strong. Instead of saying remove X amount of strength, it'll just mean weaken, blah, blah, blah. And it's always base strength, which is good. Boost, so increase the unit's strength by X. Strengthen, increase the unit's base strength by X. So boost is just literally like buffing up the card. It'll return back to normal once it's gone to the graveyard. Strengthen increases the base strength of a unit, which is really, really nice. Armor, this is totally, totally new, and I'm really, really hyped for armor. I hope to God that they have like some form of control warrior deck from Hearthstone in Gwent. As much as I know that Hearthstone's very, very touchy subject with regards to the current RNG and blah, 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 I love Control Warrior. I really, really love Control Warrior. And I think just having armor is sort of edging towards there. Basically, what it does, it resists X amount of damage. So, for example, if a card had 2 health, 5 armor, and it got hit by 5, it would keep the health, it would keep the strength, but it would lose that 5 armor. That's it. The actual armor doesn't count towards the card strength as well, which is it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and I'll explain why. But I still think this is really, really nice. So Death Wish, if the unit dies, do the following. So this is exactly like Death Rattle. Resistant, it's basically a new word for weather immunity. Clash, if neither players pass, do the following. Doomed, which is it's pretty crazy, but basically instead of banishing or exiling it when it dies, it's now called Doom, which basically means it's just gone. It will never go to the graveyard. I think it's reworded fleeting. I think that's what it used to be. Yeah, it basically means you can't resurrect this unit. It's just gone for good once it's been used. Reload, not sure. Promote, not sure. And Bond. Excuse me. Bond, I'm not sure myself, actually, as well. Somewhere, someone will have mentioned this on Reddit. Anyway, weather changes. This is really, really important. I think it's definitely been required. It's been needed because weather was very, very, very overpowered. And yeah, it's pretty cool because every single type of weather now, Biting Frost, Impenetrable Fog, Torrential Rain, Marigold's Hailstorm, and Ragnarug, actually can be placed on any row, and have their own effects, which is cool. So no longer is Frost stuck to the melee row, no longer is Fog stuck to the range row, which kind of begs the question, what's going to happen with Foggers? Foglets. Not sure, but I'm sure we'll find out. Anyway, so Biting Frost. Apply Biting Frost to a row, very important. A row, any row you want. And what it does is it turn start, so when start of the turn, basically you damage units on the row by 1. Gradual damage. So every single turn, it's going to be getting 1 damage to the row, which is nuts. I think that's absolutely crazy. I think Frost's really, really strong. Fog, I'm not very keen on, to be honest. Impenetrable Fog, at the start of the turn. The highest unit, you damage it by 2. So the highest unit in the actual row, you get just straight up just 2 damage. Now, because this says gradual damage, I'm assuming that this means it goes every single turn, whereas this, it just says highest unit damage by 2. It doesn't say gradual damage, so I don't know if that's just a one-off or if it's going to continue. Because if it's a one-off, then surely that makes Yennefer Condra just... if it's a gradual and constantly and just keeps ticking every turn, surely that makes Yennefer Condra just null and void now. Because Impenetrable Fog is pretty insane. If every turn you just minus 2 strength from everything, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. Anyway, Torrential Rain, the lowest, basically exactly the same, but it's the opposite of Impenetrable Fog. So the actual lowest unit is damaged by 2. At the start of turn. So that's pretty nice. Marigold's Hailstorm, it's actually a special now. Damage all units in the row by half their power, rounding down. So that's really, really good. You can definitely do a lot of damage with Marigold's Hailstorm. I wouldn't know if it's worth taking over anything else, but it definitely does seem pretty strong. And Ragnarug, now this This is OP, and I'm assuming that this is going to be nerfed, or it's just wrong. It's a special gold card. And, yeah, apply Ragnaru to all rows on your opponent's side. Oh, that's something as well. Weather only affects the opponent's side, like Coral used to do. It doesn't affect both anymore, which begs the question, what the hell does Coral do now? Anyway, you apply Ragnaru to all rows on the opponent's side, and then at the start of every single turn, you damage the highest unit on the row by 3. Every single turn. That's crazy. That's really, 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 really insane. Ragnarood is very, very strong. Because obviously, if it's got the effect like Yennefer, then if, say, you've got, let me think, a 9 strength unit, a 6 strength unit, and then a 3 strength unit on that row, it's going to go 9. Brings that down to 6. Then it's going to do damage to the 6, both 6s. Then it's going to do the damage to all the 3s. It's insane. It really, really seems strong, and I think it's going to be nerfed. But who knows? We'll see. Okay, so now we're on to the actual other cards, neutral cards, the main juice of decks. So here we go. Gone to Odin. He's now not a silver. He's a 5 strength gold card, and when you actually deploy him, you have the ability to gamble with the Man of Glass. If you succeed, you draw and play a card. Failure, your opponent draws a card. And tie, both players draw a card. A lot of people have complained that this is very, very RNG-y, like Hearthstone. And I totally agree. And I don't think this will see any form of play. Because it kind of sucks. Unless it's weighted towards maybe you winning, then that'd be good because it's a 5 strength gold drawing a card. But a 5 strength gold, draw both players a card? Or draw your opponent a card? It sucks. And it depends what this gamble with the Man of Glass is. Is it going to be a little mini game? Is it going to be like roll dice? Is it going to be pick a card, the highest card wins, etc.? We definitely need to see this in play, but I don't think this is going to be competitive. I think it's just too random. And at the end of the day, it's a 5 strength gold. Draw a card if you win this random game. It's not that good. Especially because of the other goals that are actually in the game. This is nothing. Renew. Resurrect a gold unit from either graveyard. This is absolutely nuts. It really, really, really is strong. Resurrecting a gold unit from your own graveyard, it's pretty strong. But resurrecting from either is nuts. Imagine if you had like a Siri Dash and... sorry, not a Siri Dash. A Siri. Your opponent has a Siri. It goes to the graveyard. Next turn, you technically, if you play Renew, you can resurrect the Siri from their graveyard and play your own. You can have 2 Siris, like, in turn 2. It's nuts. It's crazy. You can steal a gold card from either graveyard. It's... I think this is very, very strong. Very, very strong indeed. Garrel. Default Garrel. I don't get why he's been nerfed. Basically, he's a 10 Agile gold card. Agile's pretty cool. He's not stuck on the melee row anymore. But still. Really? Deploy Brave Strength Self by 2. So if you remember, Brave is actually, if you're losing, then do the following. So if you're losing, Garrel gets turned to 12 Strength Gold. 12 Strength Gold's nothing. It's pretty naff, if I'm totally honest. I mean, you could see this being a buff, making it agile, being able to put it on any single row. But then again, is it? Because gold cards aren't affected by anything. So, I don't get it. I don't get the point. Anyway, Blood-Curdling Roar. Special. Destroy an ally and spawn a bear. Now, this sounds like a Skellige card to me. I don't think this is actually going to be neutral. It might be. But this just sounds like a Skellige card. Obviously, Skellige... all about roaring, all about bears, destroying an ally and resurrecting it with like Priestesses of Freyas and stuff. This seems like it would be perfect in a Skellige deck, but we're in the neutral section, so I don't know. It seems really strong. Well, actually, no. It seems strong in a Skellige deck. Obviously, it depends what the bear's going to do. We don't know what the bear does yet. So we'll see. Maybe a bear's like Savage Bear, which is pretty strong. If this was Skelliger only, this would be really strong. It really, really would be. Destroy an ally. It'd be good. I mean, the only way that this would be bad is if destroy an ally actually banishes it. If you can't resurrect it, then that'd kind of suck. But then again, it doesn't say doomed. It doesn't say ally would be doomed off, for example. So I think this is good. I'd probably definitely use it in Skelliger, and it should be a Skelliger only card, but whatever. Quen Sign. Now, this is really, really strong. It's been buffed. So it's choose a unit in your hand and give all copies in your hand and deck a shield and boost them by 3. So shields basically were never really that good. Basically what a shield does is it prevents your enemy from messing around with its strength. Meh, doesn't seem that strong. But when you boost them by 3, that's really strong. You give them a shield and then boost them by 3. And it's the fact that it's in your deck which makes it really, really silly. Imagine if you get like I don't know, trebuchets, 3 trebuchets, chuck them at the back. They're going to be like 9 strength. It's pretty insane. I think it's really, really strong. I'm really impressed with Quen Sign. I like that a lot, and it's nice that they're actually doing stuff with the actual signs as well. Impressive. I'm impressed. Arachas Venom. It's exactly the same. The Manticore Venom, but it's basically just a different name. No longer call it Manticore Venom. Call it Arachas. Cool. Overdose. Damage 3 adjacent units by 2 and remove resistance from them. Now, I think this is actually from the Frost Potion. Basically, the Frost Potion had the Overdose passive on there, and you basically just removed weather immunity, obviously called resistance now. But I think this is actually pretty strong now. It might actually make Frost Potion pretty strong, purely because you get to damage units with it, which is nice. It's really, really nice, actually. With it being called Overdose, I don't know if that's a separate thing or if this is just the passive from the Frost Potion. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Swallow Potion, boost a unit by 9. That's gone up, I think. I think this was 8. Now it's 9. Maybe. Not 100%. Royal Decree. It's a gold card. Basically allows you to play a gold card from your deck and shuffle the others back. So this is, what was he called? Jeekstra from Northern Realms. This is basically a new card that does Jeekstra's ability. Awesome. It's really strong if your deck revolves around a specific gold card. So, for example, Siri Dash. You can pull Siri Dash out. Pretty nice. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I just think it's going to be... It's good. I just don't think it's going to be in every single deck. Summoning Circle. This is actually pretty unique. It's a special card. I think it's silver as well. I think on the stream it was silver. I can't really remember. Basically, you spawn a base copy of the last unit in your opponent played from their hand. It's nice, but, I mean, what happens if that opponent just played a Necker, which actually have just recently been nerfed to Strength 2? It's kind of a waste. If they drop something massive, then yeah, spawning a based copy of that last unit is pretty nice. But if it's somewhat tiny, what's the point? It's really pretty naff. Alzo's Double Cross. It's a special card. You strengthen the highest unit in your deck by 2 and then play it. I really, really like this. This is actually giving it a little buff, which is cool. And because it's strengthen, it's base strength, which is really, really nice. You could Alzo's Double Cross Morgvag, for example, from Skelliger. I think he's now 7 strength. If I remember correctly, he's 7. This would make him, what, a 9 coming out? It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Garrett Igni, not changed at all, apart from... In fact, no, it's not changed at all. Yeah, ignore me. It's not changed at all. That's really surprising that they actually buffed... nerfed Garrett default, and they left Garrett Igni. Garrett Igni is really, really strong. I'm surprised they've not done anything with it. People actually play around this bloody card. Okay. Cyprian Wiley. Obviously the card that has currently been dominating every single deck. It's been in every single deck. Purely to, like, tech Neckers, to kill Roach, etc. You weaken... He's gone up to Strength 7. In fact, was he Strength 7? Yes, he was Strength 7, so ignore that. You can weaken a unit by 3. Obviously, weaken is get rid of base strength. So if you do it on Roach, for example, who's a 3 strength, you banish Roach. Roach is technically, what is it? Doomed. Yeah, doomed, gone. You can no longer resurrect Roach. That's why Cyprian's really, really strong at the moment. But this makes it even better, guys. Look at this. Oh, or destroy an ambush unit. Yes! Screw you, ambush. Screw you, ambush, Scoia'tael. We're getting rid of them. Oh, Cyprian's going to be in a lot of decks, I think. I think he is. Yeah, he's really, really good. Really, really strong. Very, very, very controlling, especially if you're going to play a Scoia'tael deck. From some of the stuff that I've seen later on down the list, I don't think ambush is going to be as strong as what it was, which is really nice, considering you can lock the card as well. Whew, pretty. Okay, King of Beggars. This is totally different. For those of you that don't know, King of Beggars is a silver card that summons the lowest the lowest strength unit in your deck and plays it. It's totally changed now. I don't actually think it's that good, if I'm totally honest. People in stream were like going nuts about it, but I don't think it's that impressive. King of Beggars, basically, it's 15 strength silver. You might think, whoa, 15 strength? Nah, it's not that good, because if you're winning, you weaken this unit enough to tie the round or to a minimum of 5 base power. So that means if you're losing by 5, this goes to a 5 strength minion. And you can play King of Beggars. If you're losing by 14, he goes to a 14 strength minion. Yeah. Seems really good, yeah? What happens if you're losing by just 5 exactly? That means he's a 5 strength default silver. It's not that good. It really isn't. I think what needs to happen to make this actually like legit viable, and I don't even think it'd be too OP, is make it so that you don't tie the round, so that you're +1. I think that'd be better. If you actually make it so that you're +1, King of Beggars would be pretty effective. Okay, Avalak, next card. 10 strength, gold, loyal, and agile. So, Avalak's totally changed. He's loyal now, which is pretty unique. He's 10 strength, which is unique. Avalak used to be a monsters only card, by the way, and he was a spy, so he was disloyal. Now, when you deploy him, and he's got the clash ability, which means if neither player has used their hero ability. No, am I wrong? I think it's clash, hero ability, or past. Neither players have passed. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense in my head. So if neither players have passed, you draw 2 cards, including golds, for both players. Oh, why? Why for both players? I don't think this is that strong unless you're specifically trying to mill your opponent. If you're milling your opponent, then this is actually going to be really, really good, because obviously they don't want to draw 2 cards if they're being milled, but Avalak will force them to. But I don't think it's worth drawing 2 cards for 10 strength and giving your opponent 2 cards as well. Niche decks, for example, milling, maybe Avalak's going to be good. Other than that, I don't think he's going to see a lot of play. I really don't. Weird. Anyway, Roach. He's a 3. She's 3 and agile. That's not changed. But what has changed is the spawn priority. So it won't work with Vilgefortz anymore. For those of you that don't know, Vilgefortz used to play him. Roach would appear, and then you can kill Roach. And benefit the card draw from that. That was Vilgefortz's ability. If you killed your own unit, you get to draw a card. That'll no longer happen. Roach actually spawns after Vilgefortz has been played. So that makes me think that Milver, you won't be able to drop down Milver. Roach will come down and then bounce back, so you won't be able to get card advantage. And you won't be able to Kieran it as well. Well, not Kieran. Kieran's kind of changed anymore. Kieran's kind of changed, but you won't have that sort of same effect, which is nice. It's nice. It's going to make Vilgefortz a little bit poo. Well, I don't know. Maybe Vilgefortz could still kill like Vicavaro medics and stuff like that. But he's definitely... I don't think he's going to be a must-have in Nilfgaard anymore if you can't kill Roach. We'll see. Anyway, Yen Conjurer. Exactly the same. She's now agile. Doesn't really matter. Instead of sticking on the range row, she can now go wherever she wants. I still don't know why this is a thing. Purely because she's gold. She can't be affected by anything like weather. So what difference does it make? I don't know. Probably just to work around Carl Igni, I guess. Okay, Regis the Vampire. It's now 2 cards. And I don't think this is actually any good. I really, really don't think this is good. Regis basically has turned into a 4 strength gold card that's agile. And basically when you deploy him, you can consume a random bronze unit from your opponent's deck. That kind of sucks. Now, if you're able to pick from a selection of bronze units in your opponent's deck, that's really strong. Because you actually get a little sneaky peek of your opponent's deck. But if it literally is come down, consume a random bronze unit from your opponent's deck, and that's it, that sucks. Imagine if you're going against Skellige and you eat a Priestess of Freya. Yes, you get rid of a Priestess of Freya, that's good. But then you're only a 5 strength gold agile card. Because Priestess of Freya's only have 1 health. So it's not that good, I don't think. I don't think he's good at all. At all. But it kind of sucks. I liked Regis. Regis was good. Vasimir, basically is 5 strength. If you deploy if you deploy him, you summon Eskel or Lambert. And he's brave, so you strengthen yourself by 1. I think this is actually 2. I think this is a typo. I think in the stream it was 2. So it's pretty nice. Obviously, it's the neutral version of the Crones. Pretty strong. It'd be interesting to see if Eskel or Lambert have any sort of passive on their cards. Okay, Stammelford's Tremors. Special card. Damage up to 8 random enemies by 2. You're really, 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 really going to punish decks that want to just spam out units. But, I mean, this buff to this card is really nothing that substantial. Basically, Stammelford's Tremors used to do 6. It's now 8. It's not going to change it. If you used it, you're probably still going to use it. Like, for example, Howl the Cripple, Skellige decks, they do use Stammelford's Tremors. You're probably still going to use it, even if it's been buffed. It's not going to make that much of a difference. D-Bomb. This is pretty shocking. Basically, you can demote and reset 3 adjacent units instead of the 5. So D-Bomb actually has been nerfed, which kind of sucks. But then again, it was good in like the Northern Realm Henselt decks and stuff like that. Henselt's no longer what he was, and the Northern Realms have totally changed. In fact, this whole entire section discusses why. So, I mean, it really depends on the meta. If you're going to have lots of clumped up units, then this is really, really going to affect D-Bomb. If not, then I think it's still exactly the same. I think you're absolutely fine, and it's not really going to be that bad to D-Bomb. Yeah. Cool. So Northern Realms. There's a little bit of information here. Northern Realms, basically, it's funny because I really, really enjoy Northern Realms, and I was looking really, really, really forward to being shown some Northern Realms, especially when I heard that they had armor. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. But it turns out that they are not complete yet, and they are still in development. So we can have a look at some of the cards. I think there's actually some right at the bottom. Yep, some right at the bottom. So we can have a look at that and obviously discuss a little bit. But bear in mind, Northern Realms have totally changed. Totally changed. Fall test ability has changed. Henselt's changed. They're just totally different. Radovid, I think, has changed. There's still a little bit of discussion with regards to the wording of his ability, but they're not the same. You can no longer resurrect, at least from what I've seen and what people have mined at the moment using just imagery and stuff. You can no longer get the resurrection combos anymore. So Northern Realms is going to be a totally different beast, and it's going to be really interesting. But if we look at the cards later on, right down at the bottom, just bear in mind that everything is subject to change. Everything with Northern Realms. In fact, everything in this entire list is subject to change. We've still got a week until the beta gets released, so we'll see. Until the patch gets released. Okay, so Scoia'tael. Ambush cards will now have counters. Dum dum dum! You can now make a deck around mulliganing and movements as well. This was just mentioned. There was no actual information with regards to what this means. Mulliganing, though, seems pretty nice, pretty strong, but this is kind of unique. I'm really, really intrigued with movement strategy. What does that mean in a in a card game? You can move your opponents, maybe? Something like Garrel Ard? I don't know. We'll see. This is the best, though. Ambush cards now have counters. That's awesome. Okay, so let's go into the changes for Scoia'tael. Nature's Gift. Play a special card from your deck and then shuffle others back. It's kind of good if you're a deck that revolves around specials. Other than that, then it kind of sucks. I mean, it literally is like a... It's basically Bruvahug's ability. Bruvahug's old leader ability in a card. Which if you... Obviously, we don't know the actual meta. We don't know how the archetypes for each individual faction are going to be. But if Scoia'tael are focused around specials, then this would definitely see a lot of play. If not, then I think this kind of sucks, to be honest. We'll see. I mean, with things like Elven Mercenaries and stuff, still having the sort of uniqueness to them and sort of enforcing the special card archetype, then maybe Nature's Gift isn't as bad as I'm thinking, but I don't know. It depends on the archetypes. It depends on the archetypes that Scoia'tael are going to have available to them. Dennis Cranmer. Dennis Cranmer seems really, really interesting. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. Dennis Cranmer is a dwarf. He has resistance, which means he is able to stay until the next round. And at the start of your turn, you can basically boost adjacent units by 1. So to the left and to the right, you can boost them by 1. Now, automatically that doesn't sound strong. But if you think Dennis Cranmer's actually a dwarf, so if you place him in a dwarf deck, and you put him in between some Mahakam defenders, who are also resilient, you can get a huge, huge swing turn 2 or turn 3 by basically keeping these resilient units and then having him in the middle, and he keeps buffing them every turn, and then obviously turn 2, all 3 of these cards stay because they're resistant, sorry. It's really, really, I feel it's going to be really, really strong in that sense, but with regards to anything else, no, he kind of sucks. It's interesting that they've actually decided to rework him, and I like it, and I'm sure that developers have actually thought about the Mahakam defenders, etc., and Dennis Cranmer in the middle. I'm sure there's going to be something. I mean, we've not seen any Mahakam defenders. We don't know if they're still resistant, sorry. I'm pretty certain they will be, but you never know. Saskia. Saskia is really nice and really, really pretty. I'm actually pretty impressed that they put her back in. It's her original artwork, and she's no longer a dragon. Well, there is a dragon version, but this is Saskia in human form. She's a 7-strength gold card, and basically, because she has the orders tag, when you play your leader ability, she pops out of the deck. She literally pops out of the deck, which is really, really cool. It's really nice. It basically acts like a 7-strength Patches the Pirate from Hearthstone. But, I mean, is it... It's kind of weird me saying this, but is it really that good? I think it's a cool card. I think it's a cool concept. But all it's doing is adding you some additional thinning to your deck. Would you really waste a gold slot for a 7-strength gold card that just assists you in thinning your deck? I don't know. Would I? Probably not. Oh, but then again, she's gold, so Roach would appear. Which actually is pretty strong. It's a 10-strength swing when you play your leader ability. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought, taking into account that Roach can come out. If Roach is already on the board, I don't think Saskia's worth it. The premium artwork for this, by the way, looks so, so pretty. I really, really like the premium Saskia card. So yeah, that's my analysis on that. If Roach is on the board, Saskia's not worth it. If she's not, then 10 strength swings actually not that bad for playing your leader ability. Still, it's a gold slot though. It's iffy. Okay, Morianne. She has now changed, which is really, really interesting. She is a 5-strength disloyal card. In fact, no. She's not. She's not disloyal. She's not disloyal. That is a typo. I was reading through these. I was like, this makes no sense. She's disloyal. She's got ambush, and then when you spring, basically, this is how it works. She's a loyal card, so she's got ambush, so she's face down, and then when a unit appears on the opponent's side, you damage it by 5. So she's basically just a buffed up fire trap, which is kind of nice. It's kind of strong. But just imagine if this was disloyal. It makes no sense. So if it's ambush, it's face down on your opponent's side, and then when your opponent plays a card, you damage it by 5. It makes no sense. Why would it be ambush? So yeah, it's definitely loyal. But I think this is actually pretty strong. You've got to think like, for example, Arrakis Behemoth, 5 strength. If it gets put down, she can, bing, kill it instantly, which is nice. Roach, bing, she'll be gone. I think Morin's actually going to be pretty strong. If ambush is still a thing. Then again, would you just play her? I think I'd just play her. Obviously, she is basically a fire trap. And she doesn't spawn the additional units. But 5 strength is actually pretty strong. Yeah, I like her. I like her. Elven Mercenary. Now, these guys have totally changed. 2 strength disloyal unit. I was like, what? How are they going to work this out? As soon as I heard disloyal, I was like, this is really strange. But it does make sense when you actually think about it. So, if this unit is spying, move it to your sides after you play an ambush unit. And then when you actually deploy it, you draw 2 bronze special cards, play one and shuffle it back into your deck. So, there's still going to be key cards for, as mentioned earlier, the special archetype of Scoia'tael. They're still going to allow you to just go through like rally and things, clear skies and use rally and things. So they're going to allow you to thin your deck quickly, which is nice. And the additional option to draw 2 cards and play 1 is going to stop the just random bloody scorches and stuff that normally happen when you play an Elven Mercenary. So it's very nice in that. But I think this is really the most interesting thing. If it's spying, move it onto your side after you play an ambush unit. So you chuck it over to the enemy's side, then as soon as you play an ambush unit, for example, Maureen, they come back over John Calvier spy style onto your side. So it's a nice little mini swing there. A little mini strength swing, which is nice. John Calvier, by the way, has totally changed. There's no longer the spy Nilfgaard playstyle, which I think really sucks. I love that playstyle. But meh, you're going to have to use Elven Mercenaries for that sort of feeling. Kind of sucks. Anyway, these are good. These are good. I think these are really good. Definitely. This is just really strong. Draw 2 bronze special cards, play 1 and shuffle the rest into your deck. You can actually just like really well tune your deck so you can just pick the cards you want. It's really nice. It's very nice. It's very nice indeed. You can streamline your deck to stupid levels just to make sure that you have just special cards for every single scenario. And because of the Elven Mercenary, you'll definitely be able to get them out. That's really strong, actually, thinking about it. Okay, so Dol Blandthana, these are protectors. I think they're called protectors. And this is a 4 strength loyal unit. I think they're melee. I think they go on the melee round. I'm just trying to remember from the stream. And these are pretty unique. Basically, when you play a special, boost them by 1. So they get buffs basically every time you play a special card. So, yeah, again, obviously, Elven Mercenaries, draw special cards. Nature's Gift, special card. I think we're going to definitely see a special archetype for Scoia'tael, which is really nice. But, I mean, I don't know if these are going to be really that good. Because at the end of the day, they're just bronze cards, you know what I mean? They're just bronze melee units. Then again, I was going to say Elven Mercenaries are going to take up the bronze unit slot, but they're actually disloyal now. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. The first 2 weeks, we'll definitely find out exactly who's the strongest and what archetypes are strong. Special maybe strong. Who knows? But then again, things like a glace, which we're going to get to next, has changed. So, I don't know. We're just going to have to play test it, guys, once it's out. I don't think these are going to be, like, a mainstay. But then again, maybe I'm totally wrong. Who knows? Okay. Ithilene is a 2-strength disloyal gold unit. Now, this is ridiculous. This is really strange and just... It's overpowered as hell. Okay, so it's disloyal, so it goes onto the enemy's side. It's 2 strength. That's really no negatives to us. And when you deploy it, you play a bronze special card from your deck. And then spawn a copy of it. That's crazy! So you can, in theory, play a Scorch. And then play another Scorch. It's crazy. It's really strong. Imagine it on like a Thunder Potion. You can Thunder Potion your own units and then get another Thunder Potion and Thunder Potion it again. It's crazy. It's really strong. I think this needs to be nerfed. Or at least make her like a bloody 32 strength disloyal gold. Because this is insane. It really is. I mean, you could bloody just use Alzor's Thunder. Alzor's Thunder? You could just use Thunder. And Lightning even. You could use Lightning. And that's basically a 2 strength gold card on the opposing side. So... yeah, you've just done 14 damage using your lightning card. Very strong. Very strong indeed. Aglace has now changed. She's a 10 strength gold card. The premium for this looks absolutely amazing as well, by the way. Holy shit, it's nice. It's so pretty. She's sat on the rock and she's just playing around with the water and you see like a little dragonfly. Beautiful. Anyway, you deploy her. You may resurrect a special card from your opponent's graveyard. Pretty strong. When you actually use her ability as well, she weakens herself to, by 4. So she'll actually go down to a 6 strength gold card. Now, I actually tried to message the developers midstream, which was silly. I didn't get an answer for it. But I want to know how this is actually going to work. I want to know how it's going to look like in the UI. Basically, if you play the card, do you then get an extra option to play a special ability? Or is it a case of right-click to use a special ability? That sort of thing. Because it'll be pretty unique if you can just put her down and then activate her ability at any point in the game. I don't know how it'll work. It'll be interesting to test, and I think I'll definitely test that out. Probably one of the first things, because I'm intrigued by this. I'm really intrigued. But anyway, I think Aglace is really strong. I don't think she's as strong as what she is currently, but she's gonna be pretty tough, especially if obviously your opponents are playing maybe a special arc type Skytale deck. She'd be really strong actually if you use her like that. Okay, so now we're going on to Nilfgaard, and guys, Nilfgaard have received a lot of changes, and the reveal archetype, holy crap, that thing seems overpowered. It really does. I'm really impressed because I love Nilfgaard, but I think it needs to be nerfed. There's so much trickery to do with Nilfgaard now, and so much strength in the reveal archetype that it's definitely going to be a tier 1 contender. I think it is. Anyway, let's discuss leaders. So leaders have totally changed. Well, they've not changed. They've just basically swapped around. So, Morvan Voorhees is a 6-strength leader. Remember, you can place down this leader. And you basically get to reveal 3 cards from either player's hand. So he plays exactly like Emir did. Which is kind of cool. But, I mean, I don't understand why. I think maybe they've only done it because the art of Morvan Voorhees is like this. So it kind of looks more like a reveal sort of deck. I don't know. It's nice to know that they've actually changed them around. But, I mean, this man here, Emir, whoa, this guy's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay, I think he's going to be the #1 leader for Nilfgaard. Emir's ability, 3-strength leader. You can return an ally to your hand and then play a card from your hand. That's insane. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to play the same unit. It doesn't mean you have to play a bronze. It's just nuts. It says play a card from your hand. So he's basically like a buffed up version of Decoy because you don't have to play the same bloody card again. It's insane. It's really, really strong. So in theory, what you could do is you could Rot Tosser, throw over a cow carcass, return it back to your hand, and then play another Rot Tosser. You could play anything. You could play a gold card, for Christ's sake. You could play Letho and absorb stuff. It's really, really strong. I think Emir is very, very strong, and he's going to be the #1 leader for Nilfgaard. John Calvier. This sucks. I'm kind of really, really upset. I'm really, really upset that this happened. It was obvious that it was going to happen because the ability to throw loads of spies over at your allies and pull them all back was very, very, very hard to balance. And I think it was more... How can I put it? I think it was really stopping the creativity of the developers to play around with it, because you've always got to bear in mind what happens with John Calvier when he can pull stuff back. So, I mean, it was definitely due to be taken, but it's sad. I loved John Calvier. But as I say, it was due to be taken out. Oh, it's sad. I wonder if you can do, like, Letho tricks and stuff anymore, because I'll tell you what, I actually saw on the stream a small snippet of Letho, and he was 5 strength. So that begs to... That says to me that Letho's totally changed. Why would you throw Letho over there if he had the same sort of ability, but he was 5 strength instead of the default 1? I don't know. I really don't know. What has gone on here? Waiting for Microsoft.com. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that little cut. Basically, my internet decided it wanted to cut out. Awesome. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, John Calvier. We knew it was going to be cut, but meh. His new ability is basically Morvran's old ability. He gets to look at the top 3 cards of your hand and play one. Still very, very strong, but I think Amir's is just 10 times better. I really, really do think Amir's is 10 times better. Okay. So, other cards that have changed. Let me just have a drink. Peter Saar Gwynlev. Whatever he is. He's 6 strength. And when you deploy him, you can reset a unit, which is nice. And if it's an ally, you can strengthen it by 4. But if it's an enemy, you can weaken it by 4. Holy crap! This guy is really, really, really strong. You can reset a unit to its base value and then buff it up by 4. And its base strength as well. Or reduce its base strength by 4. This is crazy because it basically is a pimped up Cyprian Wiley. It's a pimped up Mardrome. It's really, really nice, and I think this is going to be a staple for anyone that wants to play a control sort of variant of Nilfgaard, because this is really strong. Honestly, I think this is really, really strong. The fact that he's weakening it by 4. Cyprian's only 3. Mardrome's only 2. So this is just insane. I'm very, very, very impressed with this. I think his current stat is what he does currently is just reset the unit to base strength, which is pretty pants. So this is really, really nice. You get to reset it and potentially banish it. Sorry, doom it. Very, very nice. Peter, you're going to be in my decks, mate. If I'm playing control, you're going to be in my decks. Imperia Enforcers. Look at it's 4 strength. Look at the top unit in your deck and boost self by its power. If it was gold, promote self. This is absolutely insane. It's really, really, really strong. Imagine having Peter. We may as well use this as an example. Imagine having Peter on the next card. You play this, you look at the top unit in your deck, and then you boost yourself by its power. 6! So this is going to be a 10 strength bronze. And the fact that it's a bronze is you can have 3 of them. It's insane. It's really, really, really strong. Even if you were to, I don't know, look at a Mangonel, for example. It's 6 strength. Obviously, mangonels, you're going to have more of them. It's insane. I think this is really, really strong. I think the Imperium forces are really strong. I like this a lot. I think it's definitely going to be probably nerfed. I mean, what does promote do these days? Promote doesn't even say what promote does. Yeah, it's still a question mark here. I'm not sure what promote does. I think it's give yourself armor or something like that. I think I read. Still, screw it. Bloody strong. Really, really strong. These are going to be insane. Really, 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 really insane. These are going to be mainstreams. Definitely in Nilfgaard decks. Dalan Foot Soldiers. These are crazy as well. These are really, really, really nuts. Nilfgaard Reveal has always been an archetype that's sort of been very, very niche, and it's not really worked. It's always lost its sort of strength around the end of turn 1 because you've revealed all the bloody cards, so it's not really that strong. But look at this. When this unit is revealed, play it and draw a card. So, for example, if you've got it in your hand and then you play a card that's going to allow you to reveal it, you reveal it, you play down the Dalan Foot Soldiers, which is really, really nice because obviously you're revealing something, so you're going to buff all your other cards that synergize with reveal, and you get some free card draw. This is actually insane. This is going to make such a sufficient deck when it comes to actually just drawing itself. It's insane. The thinning of a reveal deck is going to be nuts. Very, very strong. Very, very strong. I'm impressed with this. I'm very, very impressed with the Dalan Foot Soldiers. Okay, Spotter. It's 3 strength, and it has the same ability, so basically it gets +1 strength for every single revealed card. Now, this is wrong because I think the strongest thing that has happened to a Spotter is it's now agile. So you can place it on any single unit, which is brilliant. It was definitely the weakness of Spotters. The fact that they were all stuck on the range row, and obviously the more that you had and the more that you revealed, the bigger they got. They were just targets, straight off targets for Garl Igni. Now you can place them on different rows. They're no longer targets. This is very, very good from CDPR. Very, very good. And you can tell just from changes, little changes like this, that they've really, really, really wanted to put some oomph into reveal. And I definitely think that's a very, very, very nice change. Alchemist, you can now target the card to reveal, which is nice. It used to just reveal an opponent's card just randomly. Now you can pick which one. I don't know why it's going to be such a benefit to you unless you're playing something, for example, like Scoia'tael, where they've got Vryhed Dragoons and they're buffing up a card and you can visually see which card they're buffing. Then it'd be nice to actually reveal that card and be like, ha, screw you, I know you've got an 18 strength sapper. So, I mean, I think that's really, really nice. Maybe you get like a choice of 3 of the opponent's cards and you get to pick. I don't know. It's nice that you're going to have that freedom to pick. What benefit it's going to do you, I don't know, but it's nice you've got that benefit. Okay, Seret. This guy is absolutely insane. 5 strength, armor 3. So he has 3 armor, which means he's going to reduce any damage coming into him by 3, which is very, very strong. And this is insane. Set the power of a revealed unit in your opponent's hand to 1. So if you reveal, well, think of a really, really strong card. Let me think. Anything here? Okay, here you go. So the Guardian. If you're playing against Nilfgaard and you reveal the Guardian, which is a 10 strength bronze card, you can just go, no, it's now 1, which is insane. It's crazy, especially because you're revealing the enemy's hand bit by bit. You can just destroy tactics made by your opponent. Any sort of deck tactics, any sort of combo that they wanted to play, you can just mess with them. I think this is definitely something that Nilfgaard are really going to benefit from this patch. They have now just got so many abilities to mess with your opponent's deck. It's ace. I think I'm definitely going to be a Nilfgaard main. I really, really am, because the amount of stuff that they're putting in is ridiculous. I'm expecting reveal to be nerfed. instantly because it seems very, very strong. But some of the stuff, man, it's funny. They're actually going to be a really fun deck to play, which is going to be cool. Messing with your opponent's hand, I love that sort of stuff. I used to play blue cards in Magic. I used to play blue in Magic. They allow you to mess with your opponent, give yourself extra turns and things like that. I like Nilfgaard, and I like how this is turning out. Cynthia, 5 strength. When you deploy it, you reveal the highest unit in your opponent's hand and boost self by revealed card's power. Remember what I just said about Seret? So, if you have Cynthia, you can reveal the highest unit in your opponent's hand. She will then boost herself, buff herself by that strength. And then you can play Seret next turn and go, aha, your 10 strength bloody Guardian is now 1. It's insane. Just these cards, man. These cards are so strong. Oh, they're so strong, it kind of upsets me that Treason has changed, and I think it's going to suck, to be honest. It's a special card. Obviously, it'll still be silver. You get to play the bottom card of your opponent's deck. Now, the concept of it is really, really cool. You get to play with your opponent's deck. You get to mess around with their cards, and you might even be able to pull out some form of vital combo piece. Still, I really liked the ability to be able to pull back your own spies and buff them up and stuff. I just think this isn't that exciting. You can combo it with the next card, Zarthissus, which is a 10 strength gold. You get to look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck and then put one to the bottom. Obviously, you can then combo it with Treason, but I don't think Zarthissus is really that good. I honestly don't. I mean, the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, the chances of pulling out something like deck defining is not really that good. Unless it's later on in the game. Oh, I don't know. You can argue that these are a good little combo, but I honestly think this is an even better combo. I definitely think it's going to be hard to pick the silvers in a Nilfgaard deck because they have so many good silvers now. Look at this. Leo Bonhart, a brand new character to be added to Gwent. A brand new card. Everyone went ape shit when they saw his artwork. It looks really, really cool, actually. It's a 6 gold agile card. And when you actually deploy it, you reveal a unit from your hand, including any golds, and damage an enemy by the revealed unit's power. So that's really, really nice. If you want to reveal yourself a Guardian that's in your own hand, I'm going to use Guardian a lot because it's just base 10 strength. If you reveal a Guardian, you're going to do 10 damage to something else. It's nice. It's very strong. And this is why I think picking silver cards is going to be really bloody hard in Nilfgaard. Because they're all really, really nice. Guardian, 10 strength. Really. Death Wish. So when it dies, you spawn 2 lesser Guardians at the top of your opponent's deck. Now, this is one of the cards that I think is not good. Yes, it's fun from a Nilfgaard player's point of view. You get to mess with your opponent's deck. But this is not fun for your opponent. Imagine playing a Guardian, end of turn 1. They get to draw 2 cards. The only 2 cards that you've managed to plant in their deck are these 2 5 power, no ability, lesser Guardians. For your opponent, that instantly is no fun. It's going to bring about less fun in the game, which I'm not a fan of. Obviously, after all the pain and torture we've had from Consume Monsters and Ambush Scoia'tael, I think this needs to be changed. Yes, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. And as a massive fan of Nilfgaard and a massive fan of, as I've just said, Magic the Gathering blue decks, it's cool to be able to mess around with your opponent's deck. But because Gwent is so round dependent, and if you play this at last in a round, you automatically mess up your opponent's draw. And it's just, for them, it's going to be no fun. So I think this needs to be changed for the better. Even though it'll be so cool to do. Kahir. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th rework that Kahir's had. He's a 5 strength gold agile card. And if you're Nilfgaard, you get to trigger your leader's deployability. Meh. not really that strong. The reason it says if Nilfgaard, by the way, is just imagine if you were to resurrect it or play it from the bottom of your opponent's card, of your opponent's deck. It'll only work if they're Nilfgaard. Okay, Swears. Swears has been buffed, and I really, really, really like Swears. I've liked Swears from the start. I think he's really, really strong. He's a very, very strong card if you want to control your opponent. And this just makes it even better. Basically, it's exactly the same, but you get to reveal the opposing Bronze unit and move it into your opponent's deck from your... sorry, ignore... You get to choose a Bronze enemy or a revealed Bronze card and move all copies from your opponent's deck to the graveyard. So that's really, really, really strong. If you reveal a Priestess of Freya in your opponent's hand, you can go, I see a Priestess of Freya, move all others into your graveyard. That's really, really nice. You get to pick. Instead of just going, oh, you've played a Priestess of Freya, now fingers crossed you don't have it in your hand. You can actually visually check. You can go, right, okay. So I can see 5 cards of his 6 card hand. He's got 1 Priestess of Freya there, so the other 2 must be in the deck. Boom. We'll move him into the graveyard. Really strong. Really, really nice. I think Swears is going to be... I think he's going to be brilliant for control Nilfgaard, which I really, really like to play. Vatier, 8 strength. He's unchanged. Does that mean he's been buffed? I think Vatier was 7 strength. I think. So that's a single strength buff. Woo! Mangonel. Whenever a card is revealed, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. What's changed about that? Oh, actually, okay, so I think Mangonel was whenever you reveal a card, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. But this is whenever a card is revealed. So I suppose for the mirror match, this would be pretty strong. Other than that, it's not really changed. It's a nice change. It's very nice just changing around a couple of the words, and it actually does sort of buff the card. So that's strong. I like that. I like that. Okay. Tibor Egdbracht. He's basically been buffed. He's 10 strength. He's agile. And basically, he's got the clash ability. It's exactly the same. If no one's passed, then he gets to boost himself by 15, and your opponent gets to draw a revealed bronze card. Do you have to reveal it now? Yes, they do. They do. Okay, so that's actually really, really nice. Basically, he was 7, I believe, so he's now going to bump himself up to 25 instead of what he previously did. Very nice. Bloody hell, we've been going on for ages. Oh, we've actually not got that far. We've not got that far to go, guys. Okay. Skellige. Leader ability, King Bran. Boom, unchanged. But that's totally wrong. Ignore that. What is that? Okay, so he's 3 strength, and he has been changed. He does exactly the same, but... he's now got the added benefit of he gives +2 strength to what he discards. I think it was 2. Might be 1, but he does buff them. And it's base strength as well, which is really, really nice. Imagine doing it to like a Morgvarg or something like that. Really, really nice. Really strong. Clan Demon Pirates. 4 agile. Veteran. Strengthen himself by 1. Okay, Veteran is the ability that Skellige currently have as their passive. Basically, every turn they will go up +1 strength. Boost this unit by 1 wherever it is whenever you discard a unit. That's wrong. Oh, they must have got them wrong. Okay, so this is actually the Clan Demon leader, pirate leader. So this is exactly the same apart from it's got the veteran ability. And Clan Demon pirate here has the veteran ability. It still discards. It's agile and not just stuck on the ranged row, which is good. And it looks like it's actually lost the weather immunity. They were never that good anyway. You only ever use it for this. To thin out your deck. And obviously benefit from other discard abilities. So, pretty nice. Pretty nice, I guess. Card and Create Raiders. 4 strength. They have the veteran passive, which is nice. So they obviously bump themselves up every turn. Very nice, very strong. Oh my god, my mustache is tickling my bloody nose. Stop it. Okay, Morgvag. Strength 7, so he's now been buffed up by +1. Whenever the unit is discarded or destroyed, resurrect and weaken it by 2. That's not changed, then. Oh, shit, it has changed. He doesn't have the veteran ability. Oh, man, that sucks. So, Morgvag is not going to level up per round. He's not going to get +1 strength per round. That kind of sucks. Does it suck? Yes, it sucks. We'll see. Because they do seem to have... There does seem to be a lot of plussing to base strength. So maybe that's not such a bad thing. We'll see. Ermion, 6 strength gold card, unchanged. Ermion, wasn't he 6 strength anyway? Yeah, so unchanged. Why is that on here then? Madman Lugos, 7 strength, agile. Deploy, discard a bronze unit from your deck and damage a unit by the... They've changed Madman Lugos, no! Holy shit, they've really nerfed Lugos. Well, they've not even nerfed him, they've just changed him. Okay, that I suppose it's not that bad. Oh, well, it is because they've got rid of Lugos. I love Madman Lugos. Really, really cool effect. Gain strength for every single discarded card. Sorry, every single card in your graveyard. It's kind of nice because you get to discard a bronze unit from your deck, so therefore everything in your deck that everything from your deck that is what's the word I'm trying to find? Everything in your deck that is dependent on other units discarding, I suppose. Discard reliant, there we go. You actually obviously get to buff them up, which is really, really strong. And you get to damage units. So there's some discard in there. And there's some control. So it's kind of nice. I think it's just more sad that they've got rid of Madman Lugos. Oh well. Oh well, what are you going to do? That's one sad change, I guess. Didn't notice that. That's sad. Well, Longship, 6 strength unchanged. Okay, so ignore that. That's been buffed. That's currently 4 strength. So that's now been increased by 2, which is very strong. Obviously, it doesn't have the veteran passive anymore, so it doesn't level up. Which kind of makes sense because it's a ship. Why would a ship get harder the more experience it gets? It wouldn't make any sense. Donar and Hindar. This is ridiculous. This is so overpowered. Basically, Donar and Hindar used to be a spy. He's no longer a spy. He's a 5 strength loyal card. And basically, you can toggle a unit's lock, so you can now use him as a lock. By the way, every single faction now has a lock card, not just Cleaver. And this is really, really strong. Discard a bronze card from your opponent's deck to your graveyard. Opponent's deck! It's crazy. It must be a random card. Otherwise, it makes no sense because you'd be able to see your entire opponent's deck. Or maybe it's your opponent's graveyard to your graveyard. No, because then that'd just be a griffin, and you wouldn't really be discarding it, would you? Maybe there's like a UI where there's 3 cards and you get to pick one, something like that. Or you get to pick it from the hand. That'd be pretty cool. But I think that's really, really strong. I think it's really, really nice, especially because you're discarding a card from your opponent's deck, putting it in your graveyard to allow you to res it up by a Priestess of Freya. I think it's really nice. I think it's really, really strong. Uldalric, they've actually changed. It's kind of upsetting, but whatever. It's a 12 strength spy, so he's disloyal. Basically, you can deploy him and you draw 2 cards from your deck, including golds. You get to keep one and discard the other. It's nice, but 12 strength's a lot. I think 12 strength's a lot. But then again, it synergizes with discard, and obviously you can get to draw your cards better, so added deck thinking is really, really nice, especially because it's golds. It doesn't specifically say bronze cards, so that's really, really nice, I guess. It's just sad that they got rid of the old Uldalric. I really, really liked him. The fact that it just added a little bit of RNG, a little bit of fun, that you could resurrect something from your opponent's graveyard. I liked that. I liked that a lot. Restore. Return a unit from your graveyard to your hand and then discard a card. pretty nice. Pretty strong. Obviously, restore currently, I think, plus 2 strength to it. Base strength. So it's kind of a nerf, but it's synergizing with discard. It is synergizing with King Bran and discard. Priestess of Freya. This is a massive nerf. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty disappointed with this. It's been well known that the Priestess of Freya is probably the best bronze card in the entire game, purely because you get to resurrect a card with it, and it actually does level up. It does gain individual strength per round. Now it doesn't have that, guys. It doesn't have the veteran ability. So it doesn't get harder. So Priestess of Freya is constantly a single 1 strength unit. Which sucks and begs the question, what happens when you've got a Savage Bear on the board? Which obviously does 1 every time you play a card. Does 1 damage. Priestess of Freya is not going to be able to play. You're not going to be able to play a Priestess of Freya with a Savage Bear on the board. Which is nuts. I mean, even a bloody Trebuchet is going to gain benefit from this. He's not going to get buffed up. Trebuchet comes in, boom, Priestess of Freya's dead. You know what I mean? It's sad. But it's going to be very interesting to find out what's going to happen with Priestess of Freya's and just wounding in general. Have Savage Bear changes. Have Savage Bears changed? There we go. We don't know. We don't know at all. But I think this begs the question, are you not going to be able to use like the Resurrection Chain anymore whilst using a wounding deck? If you're using Savage Bears? Who knows? Svariga, why even put that there? I don't know what this does. So ignore that. Okay, monsters, guys. Monsters has definitely changed for the better. They no longer have the keep the strongest unit. They can no longer pass the strongest unit onto the next round, which is really good for anyone that hated monsters, and it's bad for anyone that loved monsters. They've been kind of nerfed, but I think it was definitely for the better because it made no sense. Their leader ability made no sense. Their faction ability made no sense, and it just made them too OP. The fact that you could buff up a bloody unit to like 40 strength and then carry it over to the next round is bloody insane. So it's a good job that they've actually sorted that out. They've actually changed some leaders around now as well. Gilles is no longer a leader. We now have something called the Unseen Elder. The animations and art for this card are absolutely amazing. And he's basically the consume archetypes leader. Gilles is now being converted into a card, which I think is going to be pretty cool. He's probably going to be a gold card. Maybe probably have the same ability. Who knows? Okay, so first of all, leader Eredin. He is 6 strength, and you get to spawn a bronze Wild Hunt unit. Wild Hunt seems to have some pretty interesting cards. You will get to see one later on. And yeah, there's definitely going to be something interesting about the Wild Hunt archetype, purely because A, they wouldn't show anyone it, and they've added another card to it, and there's just been a lot of changes with regards to some of the Wild Hunt cards, so I'm really excited. And the fact that they actually used one of the Wild Hunt cards, I think it's the Wild Hunt Navigator, as the background art for the advertisement of Gwent Open Beta, I think they're actually going to make it a pretty strong unit. My mustache is doing my head in. Sorry, apologies. So I think the Wild Hunt's actually going to be pretty strong. It'll be kind of weird to work out what they're good at, basically, because weather's now changed. Obviously, the Wild Hunt units, the Wild Hunt warriors, etc., they benefited a lot from weather. Now that weather's changed, who knows how they're going to play. I mean, spawn a bronze Wild Hunt unit. I'm assuming maybe they play like a Horde style. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, Eredin. It's interesting that he's now just not a basic leader that's 11 strength that you can carry over. That's literally all Eredin was good for. Now you can't do that. Okay, leader Unseen Elder. He's 4 strength, and he basically has the Kieran's ability. The Kieran no longer consumes 3 cards on the playing field and absorbs that strength. That's now the Unseen Elder's ability. So Kieran definitely has had a change. We'll go into it later on. And yeah, I think it's really cool. Kieran sort of made no sense as a leader. Unseen Elder kind of does. So yeah, nice. Very nice. Very strong. And it was needed, really. I think it was definitely needed. Dagon. We didn't see Dagon, but basically we think he's exactly the same. He can spawn weather. be that good or bad. Obviously, weather has been totally changed, so we don't know how strong Dagon's going to be. But yeah, he has no more First Light, which is needed. No more First Light, so no more rallies, which is good. He's been nerfed. He's no longer the top dog anymore, purely because, well, weather might be kind of poo. We don't know. And yeah, he can no longer use just a free rally. So that's good. That's really good. It's more healthy for the game. Nithral, 6 strength, and he's resistant, meaning he is weather immune. And Biting Frost effects now deal 2 damage. So remember Biting Frost, if we go whoop all the way up to the top. Biting Frost. At the start of your turn, damage units on the row by 1 gradually. That'll now be 2. In fact, is it to 2 or by 2? Or it just says deal 2 damage. So every turn Nithral and the Frost is on the board, it's going to be doing 2 damage to the entire row. That's pretty strong. It's changed from the random 8 damage, which I don't know if that's good or bad. Depends on how you liked playing with Nithral. I'll be honest, I really didn't like him that much. But I can imagine using him in a weather deck now because of this ability. And I suppose it depends on how strong weather is, but I like it. I think it's going to be a pretty good change. It's going to be interesting to have a probably Wild Hunt weather deck. I would assume that, obviously, if you played the game, you know that Wild Hunt are all about the cold and ice and snow and blah, blah, blah. I'd assume that they're only going to be focused around Biting Frost. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty interesting. So, who knows? Maybe Nithral will be seen in a lot of decks. And by the way, the premium for this, holy shit, it's amazing. He basically like slams the ground and loads of ice like explodes. Oh, it's pretty. It's really, really good. Gilles, replaced by Unseen Elder. He's exactly the same way, which is good. I didn't notice this last time. And yeah, he's now a card, which is cool. Neckers are exactly the same, apart from they've been debuffed. Debuffed? They've been nerfed to 2 strength instead of 3. Exactly the same ability. But yeah, it's been reduced to 2 strength, which kind of begs the question, is Cyprian Wily worth it? Because Cyprian obviously reduces the base strength of something by 3, and that used to be used specifically to target Neckers because they were little gits. And now that it's a 2, is it worth taking Cyprian? Let you decide that. Ekimaras, 3 strength, agile, resilient. So this means that they're going to be carried on. They're going to carry on over to the next round, which is really, really nice for monsters to at least have a little bit of their old passive. And Ekimara, as far as I'm aware, is the only thing that is resilient. Yeah, I think it is. I think this is the one creature, the one card that allows you to carry over some strength. So it's kind of nice, but it allows you to get rid someone that's actually you're playing against, someone that's playing against you, sorry, they can actually get rid of the Ekamara, which is strong. It sort of actually introduces like a countering effect to the current carryover of strength. So I like this change. I like this change. It makes it more healthy. Ghoul, 4 strength unchanged. What strength's a Ghoul at the moment? I think it's 4. Okay, Vran Warrior, 6, it's agile. You can consume a unit. Oh, right, okay. So basically, Vran Warrior hasn't changed. It's exactly the same. But when you actually deploy the card, you also consume a unit. So you don't have to wait the 2 turns, which is really, really nice. It kind of adds a little bit of strength to the consume archetype. Pretty cool. Grave Hag, 1 strength. And its ability is unchanged, apart from it's no longer a wait 1 turn, consume everything. It's wait 2 turns, which actually allows your opponent to counter it more. So I think it was needed. Actually, this is probably why they got rid of Madman Lugos. I suppose it was exactly the same. Meh. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's nice. It was needed. I think Grave Hag having a 1 on the timer was just bloody insane. It was a very, very strong card. Very, very strong indeed. Katakan is now 4 strength. Arrakis. This must be the Araka's Behemoth. It's 5 strength, and it has 2 armor, which is nice. So you can no longer just thunder it, lightning it. Why do I keep saying thunder it? You can no longer just remove it instantly by dealing 7 damage. It will, the armor will absorb some of that damage, which is really, really nice. But the rest of the ability has been unchanged. Okay. The Crones, 668, they are currently unchanged. Yeah. Yeah, they're exactly the same. So ignore that. Caretaker is 4 strength, gold, unchanged again. Isn't the Caretaker 4 strength already? Bloody hell. I haven't played Monsters in so long just because I'm so salty about Consume and how boring it is to play and how boring it is to play against. Is he stronger? I can't remember. Maybe a nerf, maybe a buff. In fact, no, I think it's definitely a nerf if it's anything. I don't think he was ever lower than 4. Okay, Wild Hunt Navigator. This is a new card, which seems really, really interesting because it's going to assist us just sort of guess what the Wild Hunt archetype's going to be. 3 strength. It's resistant, meaning it's obviously immune to weather. And it can summon a Wild Hunt ally other than the Navigator. So basically, this is what I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking that the Wild Hunt archetype is going to either be like a self-contained combo deck. So if, say, you have the Navigator and 2 other units, it's going to do this ability, boom. Or you're just going to be able to constantly summon copies of units. So you're going to get like a little swarm going. I think I'm going to definitely try Wild Hunt deck. I really, really do like swarm decks. I was really, really sort of bummed out that you can't create a zoo deck with from like Hearthstone or Magic. You can't create a zoo deck really in Gwent. So I mean, this could be potentially something that's going to happen. Obviously with Nithral, not Nithral. Where was it? Was it Nithral? Oh, sorry, it was bloody Eredin. With spawning a Bronze Wild Hunt unit, so obviously you drop down Eredin, you get an extra unit, and with something like a Wild Hunt Navigator, you summon a copy of something else. I think it'd be pretty nice because you're getting added value, and I think it may sort of resemble Zoo a little bit. We'll see. I mean, you're getting 2 cards for 1 here, which is really, really strong. Meh. Arrakis hasn't changed at all. Oh, apart from Craven. And I think Craven is the opposite to Brave. Brave, basically, if you're losing, you buff up units. Craven means you actually weaken the unit if you're winning. So, good or bad? I don't know. Undecided about this. As I say, I was never really a Monsters fan. I just thought the archetype for Consume was so boring and there was no point in playing anything else. That I'm definitely going to be a sort of a newcomer to Monsters when it comes. The Wild Hunt deck just seems really interesting to me. So I think it's definitely going to be an interesting archetype to play with. Okay, so Kairan. This is actually the last card. Wow, okay. So Kairan, it's a 10 strength agile card. Obviously, it's going to be gold. You can actually consume a unit from your hand and then boost yourself an additional 5 strength. So consume is still the same. You still consume and add the strength onto your own. So this is really, really strong. This is sort of like a monsters version of Tibor Egdbrecht from Nilfgaard. Basically, if you have a 10 strength something in your hand, you can consume it, plussing... this is actually pretty crazy. Plussing the 10 strength onto the Kairan, so you're automatically 20. And then because you've actually consumed something, you boost it by 5. So this can be a 25 strength agile card. Strong. Strong. Very, very impressed with this. I like it. It's going to be a... It's going to be sort of... Because they've nerfed the Grave Hag, it's going to be sort of a finisher, which I think is really, really nice. I think the Kairan, you can... I think Kairan is going to be like just a key card in all Consume still. It's nice that they've actually kept Kairan in the game. They could have easily removed it, but it's nice they've actually done it and they've kept it up with the Consume archetype. Succubus, Disloyal Gold, two turn timer, move the highest unit on the row to your side. That's exactly the same. What have they changed? Oh, no, okay. Succubus is actually 7 strength. So they've kind of buffed it. It's disloyal, so obviously it's a spy. And, yeah, they're basically -1. So that helps you, I guess. Okay, so that is everything. I mean, the only thing that we can read now is Northern Realms, but I'll be totally honest. Because they're not final, I don't think there's anything I really want to pin down on. Apart from, I will mention the leader abilities, because I think it's going to be really interesting. Fall Test. Fall Test leader ability now is, he's 2 strength. He's a siege minion. And when you deploy him, you boost units in your hand by 2. So totally different from what he does now, which obviously spawn a copy of a unit. He basically acts like a Triss Butterfly. A Triss Butterfly spell. Kind of shit, if I'm totally honest. It's kind of rubbish. Then again, you can use him whenever you want. So, obviously, you have... Because you've got the extra mulligan, you've got more of a chance to draw units. And you can use him whenever you want, which I suppose is pretty strong. You don't have to wait to draw like you do Triss Butt. Because, I mean, what's the point in Triss Butt? If you don't draw her, then she's pretty pointless. So maybe I'm overreacting. I don't think it's just as good. I just think it's not as good as the current Fall Test ability, if I'm totally honest. Radovid. Now this seems really strong if it acts the way that it's written. Spawn Radovid, 3 strength, ranged, deploy, weaken 3 enemies by 3 and lock them. So currently it is deal 2 damage to 3 adjacent units and lock them. This is weaken 3 enemies by 3 and lock them. So not only are you doing extra damage, which is really strong, it's not saying adjacent. So you can actually pick 3 units, which is really strong. It's basically 3 Cyprian Wileys, current Cyprian Wileys. It's nice. If that is the case, then I think probably Radovid is going to be the leader of choice. Hensel, 4 strength, melee unit. Summon all copies of a bronze ally. Basically, he's the new current reinforce. I think that sucks. Honestly thinks it sucks. I mean, they've got rid of the promote to gold, which is really nice. And they did mention that Northern Realms is going to focus around armor. So it's nice. It's nice that I guess you've got a free reinforce whenever you want, but I don't think he's going to be used that much compared to Radovid. I really don't. Then again, it depends on how the deck's going to play. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things if we were to take this, obviously just on paper value. Dandelion. Boost each ally by 4 when it's played. Dandelion's been buffed. He's been buffed. He's been made gold. He's have his strength reduced down by 3 to 2. But this is the whole point. This is the issue here. They've buffed this number. Currently it's 3. They've now made it 4 and they've made him gold, so he can't be killed by a lot. This I don't like. I do like it because I love Northern Realms. I love Dandelion, but playing against it is going to suck balls. It really is. What other things have they changed? Philippa Eilhart. Basically, Philippa's current ability is you play a special card, you get to draw a card. That's it. Now, it's when you deploy her, you damage an enemy by 5, then random enemies by 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really nice. So she's technically doing, what, 15 damage? Strong. Yes, she's only 1 strength, but if you look, everyone here is like really weak strength. It's like Philippa, Bloody Baron. I think this is placeholders because look at this. Field Medics are 2 strength, Trebuchets are 2 strength, Reinforced Ballistas are 2 strength, Ballistas are 2 strength, Reaver Scouts are 1 strength. I think these are all placeholders, but still, it's still really strong that you can actually do 15 damage. It's insane. Anyway, I don't want to get into Northern Realms as much because, as I say, It's going to change. It is going to change. They are not final. They won't even show us them in the patch preview. So that is it, guys. Currently, I must say, everything that has been announced is absolutely amazing. A couple of things I don't like, obviously, as mentioned, was the Guardian. Don't like the Guardian. And I don't like... What was the other thing? The fact they're getting rid of Madman Lugos. No, that sucks. And Priestess of Freya not having Veteran. Don't like that either. Everything else, though, there's really nothing that I don't like. They've done an amazing job. And it makes Gwent... It was funny because I was watching the stream and obviously I was watching the chat and people are saying, holy shit, CDPR have managed to do what Blizzard haven't done in 3 years. They've actually listened to the audience and made it so that RNG isn't king. And I totally agree. It's insane how nice and well-rounded Gwent is and how much CDPR have listened to us, to people in closed beta. Thoroughly impressed with Gwent. There's going to be a hell of a lot more footage, guys. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do currently about... Do I continue playing and releasing content? Do I? Because it's kind of all null and void as of next Wednesday. So I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, obviously I'm going to play it. I'm still going to play Gwent. God damn it. But I don't know if I'll release any sort of deck previews. Maybe just me playing some ranked games. Who knows? Anyway, if you want me to speak about anything else, maybe you want to just state your opinions, please comment below. And yeah, if you want me to chat about anything else, anything that you want to query, then please put it in the comments below and I will, if required, make another video. If not, I'll just reply to you. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. If so, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, make sure that subscribe button is firmly pressed. There's going to be a shit ton of Gwent content. Remember, I do stream on Twitch as well, mainly Gwent. And that I can only say is going to just... My volumes of uploads are going to be a lot stronger when this gets released because I'm just going to have to play with so much. So yeah, you want to see Gwent content, come over to the channel and yeah, there'll definitely be a crap ton for you. Guys, take care and I'll see you. Bye. It's exactly the same as the faction ability, but it's not going to affect everyone. So basically what they've done is they've tried to get the faction abilities and attach it to cards, which is really, really, really good. Okay, next. Leader cards are now earned in tutorial quests. This is a good change. This is a very good change, actually, especially for people that are just starting out with Gwent. Let me just get comfy. I'm going to be here a while. Okay, so leader cards can now be earned in tutorial. Yeah, basically there's a new menu. A new option in the menu. The main menu called Challenges. And basically what this is sort of, for example, the Northern Realms tutorial quest. They're going to have 3 challenges. One is for Fall Test. No, I think Fall Test is actually free. One is for Henselt, and the other is for Radovid. And basically, there's 3 separate challenges that you must do to actually unlock each leader. One thing that I noticed was, for example, the Henselt section. It had 3 individual challenges, and one was Blue Stripes, the Blue Stripes Brigade, and stuff like that. So what it's going to do is it's going to teach you the specifics or the archetypes, as it were, for each faction, which is really, really cool. And obviously, I would assume that, let's take the Blue Stripes for an example. The Blue Stripes sort of archetype deck would benefit the most from having Radovid. So I think it's really, really cool. You're actually learning archetypes of a deck, and then at the end you're actually earning a leader card. So I now would assume that leader cards are no longer available through kegs. If it is, then that's kind of a crappy move. But you do get them free, which is really cool. They've actually said as well that the tutorials in total, all the challenges, will come to about 5 hours worth of gameplay, which is really, really good. They also mentioned that they want... when I say they, I'm on about CD Projekt Red, that they probably want to add about 3 extra leaders per faction by the end of the year, and every single new leader will have a set of individual challenges, which is really cool. Not only are we getting like a lot of single player content, but guys, they're actually increasing the challenger pool by a massive amount, and they're aiming to do that by the end of the year. That's pretty insane. It really, really is. Okay, so additional mulligans between rounds. This is really unique. All faction abilities have now been removed. Basically, Nilfgaard's, which I always said was like just the best one. I loved, well, technically it wasn't the most OP, but I always thought it was the most friendly, was the Nilfgaard passive, where you actually got to mulligan an extra in round 2 and 3. They've actually given it to every single leader now, every single faction, which is really, really nice. So, for example, if you draw your cards in round 2 and you're not that keen on them, you actually do get an additional mulligan just to get rid of an extra card, which could be like, for example, Roach. You get Roach, and you're like, oh, crap. You can actually mulligan Roach away, which is really, really nice. Every card has a premium version. This is insane. Absolutely insane. Trust me, if you actually saw the premium cards for the premium versions for all the cards, it's nuts. The sheer amount of awe that these decks and cards now have is insane. I really, really want a full Skellige deck, all premium, so you can see every individual card moving. I think it'd be so cool. But yeah, they've done an amazing work. They've done some amazing work of the animators and the designers over at CD Projekt Red, and every card having a premium version is absolutely nuts. The sheer amount of man hours that must have taken is crazy. They're all animated. It's crazy. We've added keywords, so new keywords have been added. We'll go down into that. You can now lock ambush cards, which is really, really good. You can lock them. They'll flip up. They will keep their strength, but they'll lose any form of ability. So, for example, Torviel. Torviel will, if she's been buffed, when she flips, she'll retain that strength, but she will no longer buff the adjacent units at the side of her because she will lose the abilities because she's technically locked. That's really good. Ambush has kind of been, I'd say, dealt with in this patch, which is sweet. I really hate ambush as a mechanic. Because if you've been watching me and watching my videos, and obviously if you see that I actually play against some Scoia'tael decks, I hate ambush. I really, really, really dislike ambush. Anyway, by the by, now it seems to have been tamed. Okay, let's have a look. You can toggle simplified and detailed text descriptions. Okay, that's really cool. If you hover over a card, you can actually see the description of all the keywords over the card on the actual UI itself. You don't have to right-click and get the big version of the icon is really, really strong. Instead of saying remove X amount of strength, it'll just mean weaken blah, blah, blah. And it's always base strength, which is good. Boost. So increase the unit strength by X. Strengthen. Increase the unit's base strength by X. So boost is just literally like buffing up the card. It'll return back to normal once it's gone to the graveyard. Strengthen increases the base strength of a unit, which is really, really nice. Armor. This is totally, totally new, and I'm really, really hyped for armor. I hope to God that they have like some form of control warrior deck from Hearthstone in Gwent. As much as I know that Hearthstone's very, very touchy subject with regards to the current RNG and blah, 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 I love Control Warrior. I really, really love Control Warrior. And I think just having armor is sort of edging towards there. Basically, what it does, it resists X amount of damage. So, for example, if a card had 2 health, 5 armor, and it got hit by 5, it would keep the health, it would keep the strength, but it would lose that 5 armor. That's it. The actual armor doesn't count towards the card strength as well, which is it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and I'll explain why. But I still think this is really, really nice. So Death Wish, if the unit dies, do the following. So this is exactly like Death Rattle. Resistant is basically a new word for weather immunity. Clash, if neither players pass, do the following. Doomed, which is it's pretty crazy, but basically instead of banishing or exiling it when it dies, it's now called Doom, which basically means it's just gone. It will never go to the graveyard. I think it's reworded fleeting. I think that's what it used to be. Yeah, it basically means you can't resurrect this unit. It's just gone for good once it's been used. Reload, not sure. Promote, not sure. And Bond. Excuse me. Bond, I'm not sure myself, actually, as well. somewhere someone will have mentioned this on Reddit. Anyway, weather changes. This is really, really important. I think it's definitely been required. It's been needed because weather was very, very, very overpowered. And yeah, it's pretty cool because every single type of weather now, biting frost, impenetrable fog, torrential rain, Marigold's hailstorm, and Ragnarug, actually can be placed on any row. Any row. Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to a little video about Gwent. Well, when I say little, this is actually going to probably take quite a while to actually go through because, holy crap, the open beta preview show was last night on Twitch, and the developers, CD Projekt Red, have just basically turned Gwent upside down. The amount of changes that they've actually thrown into this one patch coming out of closed beta to open is enough to make it Gwent 2. It's insane, and I'm really, 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 really excited with regards to what's happened, what we've been shown, what people have actually data mined. Well, when I say data mined, they've basically slowed down the stream to pixels just to catch little glimpses of cards. And all that information is actually presented right here. So I'm going to be reading the beta changes that were all taken and collated on Reddit. They're all on r/Gwent if you want to go over and have a look. I'll put a link in the description below. And yeah, we're just going to go through all the changes. Some of you guys might not have been able to catch the stream. So I'm here and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about the stuff and how things are going to be interesting and good and bad things. I mean, honestly, there's not a lot of bad things. If I was to say how many bad things there were, there's probably about 5 that I'm not keen on. And there's about 400 things that I'm absolutely thrilled about. So let's start. First of all, the bombshell. Faction abilities have now been removed. Now, that's insane. Basically, no longer do we have Skellige going up 1 health, or 1 strength, sorry, per turn. No longer do we have the annoying Scoia'tael faction ability where they can just inherently give themselves card advantage and make you go first. That's now gone. It's a massive, drastic change. But what they've actually done is some of those cards, for example, like Skellige. We'll use a Skellige for a Skellige faction ability, old faction ability, as an example. Basically, for those of you that don't know, Skellige, basically every round, all the cards in Skellige went up 1 strength. They've now got rid of that, and they've added a keyword. We'll go down into keywords later, but they've added a keyword called Veteran, and a few selected cards in the Skellige deck actually have Veteran, which is an actual card out. It does tell you what everything does. So, for example, Brave. Brave is one that they've added, and I think it's if you're losing. In fact, it'll probably be down here. If you're losing, basically, an extra benefit will be given to your card, and it'll tell you basically what Brave does if you hover over it. It's really, really nice. You can mute opponents' emotes. Brilliant. You can do it from the menu. You can just automatically mute people, which is going to be brilliant. It's so annoying when you're getting beaten and someone's like spamming bloody cheeky ass emotes, especially because all the emotes are really sarcastic as Geralt. But what are you going to do? Leaders. This is another massive change. Leaders now spawn themselves on the board, and they actually have strength. They actually do have strength, which is crazy. They act like gold cards. It's pretty nuts. So they also have an ability on there, and they act as like a secondary gold card, which is really, really strong. Gold cards are always unaffected by abilities. So basically that means that if you were to look at cards, there's no longer the specifics of in brackets non-gold cards or blah blah blah, because we just know now that gold cards are never going to be affected by abilities. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. New currency, meteorite powder. This is some currency that they've added into the game that you can actually purchase, or you can earn through rank rewards or season rewards that allow you basically to upgrade your cards to premium instead of buying them outright, costing a lot of scrap. New avatars with voice lines including Yen, Triss, Imlerith, Eorvith, Witcher 1 Garrel, and Ciri. All are really, really nice, apart from Witcher 1 Garrel. I think that's really, really strange to put it in. It's very, very nice, and actually, if you have been part of the closed beta, which I have, then you actually get the season, the Witcher 1 version of Geralt, it basically looks younger. That's it. But I suppose it's very, very nice of CD Projekt Red to actually give us that. Anyway, okay, so let's look at keywords. So, deploy. If this unit enters the board, do the following. Pretty simple. Orders. If the leader is activated, do the following. Effort. If the ability is activating, do the following. Brave. If losing, do the following. Weaken. Base damage to units. So